This is the work we did when sort of finding the unique story of that place. Here we have the ecology, we have landscapes, we have rivers, we have protected nature areas. We have down here, we have the acupuncture points, the places where the citizens I work with chose that has special energy for them to work on. Here we have sort of the systems, the way the city works, and here we have the stakeholder analysis. So this is just one way of showing all the work that we did. This one took 6 months to do. And we will now start a process within an hour, maybe an hour and a half, where you will work on this. And of course, this is only to touch upon how we can work on the story of a place. So we consider 5 key aspects that are very important to have in the back of your head. We consider context and scale. Where is the place situated? I have put you in groups where each place, each school, institution is together with someone who is not from the school. But I have asked Norway, Italy and Denmark to come up with a project that you will work on in the groups. So of course the ones who knows the place has an advantage, and the other ones will ask questions and learn about the place. Then we consider interconnections. How do the systems in the place interact with each other? What kind of values do they share? What kind of materials do they share? What kind of social connections do they have? We search for historical patterns. We define what has happened on the place, and we search for events that has caused a change. And we see if there is a pattern. I have some examples for you later on. And we search for identity and uniqueness. What is the essence of the place where the project is? What is truly special? Every place has something that is truly unique to them. Somewhere it is maybe that the citizens has very strong connections to each other. It can be a place where they work on certain kind of projects. It can be a place with a strong culture, like your place in Italy, where there is a very strong culture that sort of connects this place. And we find out how to discover patterns that can involve and generate potential. So we set out to start with the systems and the interconnections. So this is from my project in Kalundborg, where we see the city, the system, the city itself, where there were community groups, there are workers, there are young people, there are elderly people. Actually, there was 1,000 elderly people in one, what do you call that? So I've got together once a month to go walking with these sticks. Saturday, but there was a group, and there were so many of them that they were visible in the streets when they walked with these. Yeah. Then there is, like here, and like there is also in the project in Nykøbing, the ocean. The ocean is also a system, because I mean every place I have been where there is an ocean, something is going on around this ocean. It's a way of leisure for people. It's almost always a place of money. Where there is ocean, there is money. The ocean is also like a highway. I think it's the same here for ships going in and out. It was the same in Kalundborg. The citizens of Kalundborg did not have any connection to the ocean at all. For them, it was a place of industry, it was a place of transportation, and it was a place of work. But for them personally, it didn't mean anything. And that was striking to me. I came on from the outside, said, "Oh, you have the ocean here, it's so nice, shouldn't we work with that?" And they said, "What the fuck are you talking about? This is just a way to get jobs." So we work on that, because the ocean means a lot. when you connect to it. There was this pharma in the bioindustry with the Novo Nordisk and a lot of other companies as well. Just like you have the salmon. I think there are so many things that are alike to this place actually. There was a huge educational sector that was growing. And because I worked with the School of Architecture, we also brought in the architecture discipline because that connected the city of Kalundborg to a different kind of professional workers and a different sort of kind of seeing the city that they haven't thought about before. You read all kinds of things of the place, and what is important is that you find the things that have happened in that place that has changed the course of the place or have made an impact on what came next. So in Kalundborg we started, you can't see it, but actually there were people there from before Christ. There was a huge Viking settlement, the largest in Denmark, was around the city of Kalundborg. We could see that kings and queens have come to Kalundborg, sat down, put money in, invested, built castles. Then another kingdom, for example, the Swedish king came, took over Kalundborg and asked the people to tear down the castle that they had built for the former queen. So the Swedes made the people tear down the castle, took all the bricks and sailed them to Sweden to build something for themselves. And that, of course, is sort of a scar in the history. We also found that there was the Germans set up a headquarter in Kalundborg. The Nazis were there very present. So what we could see went on in Kalundborg was that this ocean attracted money, it attracted power. It was also lying on a very steep sort of a cliff, so it was high, and then there was a steep cliff down to the sea. So it was easy to protect what they had built. And then at some point they all left. I mean, the Nazis left because they lost the war. The queen left and took all the finances to Copenhagen. The Swedish king left because there were nothing more to come by. Many companies start up in Kalundborg, and then when they succeed, they leave and, for example, move to Copenhagen. So the pattern in Kalundborg is that power comes in, take what they can, and leave again with nothing. And now there is this situation in the city where they had, I think Norway now is one of the world's, I mean, Vegovi is sold everywhere, one of the world's most wealthy companies. So they produce all the insulin and they produce Vegovi in Kalundborg. And even though there are so much money in Kalundborg, we have a city that has the very low income rate, very low education rate. They have the houses are not that cheap. It's like we call it social class 4. It's a poor city. I mean, and it's at 1.5 kilometers from one of the world's most wealthy industries. So that is an industry that is extracting from its community and not giving back. So that was the pattern that we set out to break. We did it not with Novo because we couldn't get in touch with them in a proper way, but we did it with the citizens, teaching them how to sort of know how to ask something, how to be aware of what do we need for our city and how do we ask for it. So that Novo, for example, wanted to make sort of a hot bath in the harbor. It would cost so many money, but they mainly did because they needed to get rid of hot water from the factories. And then they felt that they could give something back, but when we asked the citizens, they didn't want a hot bath. What they wanted was a community house where they could go in, that didn't cost them anything, and was always open. Yeah. Then we look for patterns. It's sort of like the same as the history, but it's the current situation. It's patterns about what kinds of traditions do you have in this place? Are there any economic dynamics? like the connection to power going into Kalundborg and leaving again. Are there anything in the landscape and the place sort of over time that generates the kind of energy there is in this place? And how has this been shaped? So this is also from Kalundborg, where we saw that there were many people who got together with an idea, maybe 5 or 10 people got together, someone got an idea, he got people around him, they started something, and if that one person left, it was like putting the plug out of a bathtub, so everything went down the drain and things stopped. And if you see that in the context of the history where someone comes in, do something, and when they leave everything drops, it kind of makes sense that it goes on both in the big picture and in the micro picture and the way the city worked. So what we did was that we set up with this group of people a network of all these sort of spirals to connect with each other, so they didn't fall out if someone or one person left. So that was sort of a pattern we wanted to break there. And I have 3 examples. This at Kalundborg is what I bring here. Then I also worked in a place called Albertslund, which is a suburb to Copenhagen, mainly built in the 70s and 80s with a lot of social housing. And Albertslund is a very different place than Kalundborg. It's a place of protest. There are a lot of communist people, and they are actually communist people who settle there. They protest against power. They, like in the 60s, they go with signs in the city hall and sing songs and play their guitar. They have very strong communities where they go together to fight sort of the establishment. That's what that place is all about, fighting the establishment. When they get sick of the town board not to deciding anything, they just do it themselves. They decided to plant like a forest, and it took so long for the municipality to get behind the trees that the people got sick of it, bought trees themselves and put it on the land. And the city was actually sort of started of a Frenchman who was a criminal escaping from the French Revolution, not to get his head chopped off. And there has been prisons all the time. 65% of the place is social housing. And it's, like we talked about in the morning, it's a place of a common enemy. So they are always protesting and fighting against something. And the problem with that is, of course, and the pattern that we want to break, is that not everybody who has money is your enemy. I mean, people can come in and want to join you and do something good. Not all politicians do everything just to benefit themselves. It actually is a good thing to, instead of demonstrate in the town hall, to cooperate with the establishment. And then Jystrup, where I live, is a place of work. The soil has always been moving around ever since the Ice Age, where the ice sort of moved down to Roskilde Fjord. The people who live there has always been working. Where I live, we sort of we take care of our own house, even though nobody knows anything about it. And I have thought about how can it be that every time someone proposes that we take sort of a carpenter or someone in who actually knows what they're doing, everybody said, no, we do everything by ourselves. Nobody is coming to our place to work on our building. And then I did this analysis, the power of place analysis, and found out that it's like that it has been like that all the time. People have always in Jystrup worked with their hands on maintaining their own place, their own home. And the downside of that is of course that we have water coming in on the roof because nobody knows what they're doing. We have facades are rotting because everybody wants to eat cake instead of painting. And the overall maintenance of the city, you can see that everybody wants to do everything by themselves, even though they don't know what they're doing. The good thing is that we have a very strong community and we have a stable growth. People want to join in on this working way of connecting to a place.